Hello friends! In this video I am going to be reviewing the Sharpie brush pen for hand lettering. This is not the really big Sharpie brush pen, and it's also not the Sharpie stained fabric markers, but these are a really unique brush pen that can be used to create brush calligraphy or hand lettering. So you can see that the tip of this brush pen looks kind of thin compared to many. It's really bouncy and flexible, but a brush pen this size isn't always the easiest to control if you are a beginner. That being said, if you don't mind the size of this brush pen and you like a really bouncy brush pen, you can see that it allows for some really thin upstrokes and really thick downstrokes. So you can get quite a contrast between your thick and thin lines if that's something you like. Some people prefer a big contrast and some people prefer more subtle, so it's totally up to you. The color swatches are actually really nice. I'm not 100% sure if I have all of the colors here, but I will leave a link in the description box below for the pack that I have, and you can see all of the options there. When I first got these, I don't think I expected such muted colors with some of them, like that peach color, but they are really nice. The brown is one that I'm testing out a bit further because I don't think that I've used it much at all, so it's probably one of the better examples of what this pen would look like before it's gotten worn in a bit. It just seems to look a bit juicier and like the lines are maybe a bit more crisp. In the blending test, you can see that there's not much blending with the first method. The pickup method is a bit better, but these aren't my ideal when it comes to blending. But I was able to go back and add a little bit of color onto what I'd written, so that was nice. And I am using marker paper for these reviews, so I did want to mention that in case that has an effect on this process. As you can see in the water test, these aren't super water resistant, but they also don't turn like almost completely into watercolor like some other markers do. I decided to try and write some onto this piece of acrylic and use a water brush to letter with it, which did turn out pretty nicely. One thing that I've heard about these brush pens is that they might fray. So this is a good option if you've got some brush pens that are frayed and you don't like to letter with them anymore, but they still have ink in them. I have a hunch that these aren't the longest lasting brush pens when it comes to ink, so I wanted to try and write with one of them to see how it would hold up. These are not brand new markers for me, but I did want to just try and test one out a whole bunch and see how it would hold up. You can see from top to bottom that it did get quite dry. Now this isn't totally abnormal, and sometimes when you recap a pen they can be revived, but I do think that this pen started to fade pretty quickly. I did also test this one out after the fact and it did revive a little bit, but it felt pretty dry still. If you want to learn more about hand lettering, you can join my free mini course at howtohandletter.com/mini course. I will also leave a link for the playlist of my pen a day challenge pen reviews if you want to see more brush pen reviews specifically related to hand lettering. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.